¿qué tal? Me llamo Gia. Today we're talking about the difference between el pretérito y el imperfecto, in el español, of course. And today we're talking about the difference between the two and when should you use them, because they both mean the past tense. In English, we actually don't use the imperfect tense, really. It doesn't really exist. We typically use the past continuous. For example, I was running instead of an imperfect tense. The preterite and imperfect tense in el español can be categorized into two separate events. So try to look at it as preterite being one event that happened. It doesn't repeat itself. It's something that stops my story, and it is something that changes my story. With the imperfect, think about it as something that is setting up my story. It's giving us context. It's creating more and more suspense to my story, and then the drop-off is the preterite. For example, this might look like something that is a habitual action. For example, every Friday I ran home. Every day I ate carrots. And then the preterite might be something crazy, something that stops my story, something that is not normal, something that happened once. For example, let's take a look at this sentence. Todos los viernes yo corría a casa. So here we're saying every Friday I ran home. And we use the imperfect here because one, it is a habitual action. Two, it's setting up the scene. So every Friday I went home. On Friday, okay, I ran. Now what? What's going to happen? So now we bring in the preterite, okay? Something that happened once, something that is big, it changes my story. Entonces, yo vi un oso. Then I saw a bear, okay? The bear screeches my story to a halt. Whoa, okay, that's not normal, that's unusual. Typically, I don't see bears on my way home when I run from school. Scary. The preterite comes in, it stops my story. We're no longer setting up the scene. The story has its climax now. Okay, we've used the preterite and we've used the imperfect. So next time you're writing a story in the past in el español, think about it like this. The imperfect is setting up my scene and everything that comes in the beginning of a story. It is something that is habitual, it happened multiple times, and it's stretched over a long period of time. Then, anything that happens as like abrupt event, anything that suddenly happens, anything that stops my story is the preterite. So then it'll be like a little dot on my timeline. It's something like one event and it specifically happened on this date and it completely stops my story. It changes the rest of it. So if you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and make sure to share with your friends who are learning el español. Adios, ciao.